All right. Well, that song is available online, but it is the focus of today's talk. So I want to say this first. In traditional churches, Easter and Christmas are the biggest Sundays of the year, at least attendance-wise. And all we need to do is look around at our sanctuary to know that we're not traditional. And that's okay. We are here as a spiritual center. We're here as a love-based community to express what we are together in our own unique way. And I know you know that there are people that we've met and people that we've yet to meet who feel the same way. They're up for doing something new in the world. Now, did you know that while Christmas is fixed on a solar calendar, it's a fixed date on a solar calendar so that every year it's the 25th no matter what, that Easter is dependent on lunar cycles, and that's why the date moves around with the cycles of the moon. Easter falls on the first Sunday after the full moon that follows the vernal equinox. Stay with me. So, since the vernal equinox this year was on March 19th, and the full moon occurred on March 25th, today we're celebrating Easter. See how simple it is? And we're celebrating it in our own individual way, because Easter means different things to different people. For instance, to some, especially to children, it means bunnies and chocolate and baby chicks and chocolate and maybe some Peeps and chocolate and lots of colored eggs. So, but for others, it's about buds on trees and the sprouting of things like hyacinth and daffodil and tulips that shoot from the soil with such force and vitality, it's as if they're on a mission. It's a gentle and yet powerful time of year. But for millions of Christians around the world, and for some of us here, Easter is all about the resurrection of Christ Jesus. Now, as many of us know, Easter began as a pagan celebration of spring, and to honor the goddess of dawn, Yoster. It sounds an awful lot like Easter. And if we look at nature in the spring, it's easy for us to see that life is all about rebirth and renewal. I mean, we see life in places that only a few weeks ago looked dead. And that's why Easter is the perfect time for the celebration of the resurrection of Jesus, who only appeared dead. We can only imagine that he arose with such awareness of the Christ alive in him, that the Christ light shined so brightly through him that his physical form could no longer be seen in that bright light. A universe of life makes no provisions for death, only for eternal expressions of more and more new life through rebirth and transformation. We are all, even now, even in our human form, in this human environment, one with that universe of life, born of it and alive in it right now and forever. Our forms might change, but our life is eternal. The universe of unlimited, pure, positive energy of love permeates all that is everywhere, on every realm, including right where we are right now. It's the joy of living with that awareness that we came to experience, because it allows us to create what we want. And so that's why we came into the world, to be joyous creators. In fact, the only way that we can enjoy living in this world with all of its high contrast and diversity of this and that is through our awareness of the joy within us. So today is a celebration of newness, a celebration of the rising up of Earth's rich abundance of rebirth and renewal and new life as we live on this earth, and a celebration of the rising up of new awareness within us as we live in this world as powerful, creative, spiritual beings. So how do we live in joy in a world that appears to have so much sorrow? How do we become aware of the new in a world that tells us some things can't change? We read in the book of Romans, in the Lamsa version, "Do not imitate the way of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may discern what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of God." That divine will lives in all of us. The desire of love, the desire of joy, the desire of peace, and the desire to express it. It's in every one of us. Every one of us. So our song this month has been leading up to today's talk, Rise Up. Faith Rivera sings, "Spirit, rise up. Rise in me." But if we're already spiritual beings, alive in a spiritual universe, out of which all form and expression and newness comes forth, including our human form, if we're already one with the non-physical vibration of pure positive energy of love that created us and creates for us, even now, who is the me in which spirit can rise up? Science of Mind tells us, in reality, the body is a spiritual idea. The flesh simply covers it for the purpose of providing a physical instrument through which spirit, the spirit as us, may function on this plane. The plane of spiritual creations that we can see and taste and touch and smell and hear. This plane, spirit functioning on this plane through all of our five senses. In other words, we're not a human being striving to be spiritual. We're a spiritual being having an experience of ourself that requires a sense of humanness. It would be hard to say, this is me in this world, if we didn't have flesh to cover our spirit. That's why we came. We came to be a unique expression of love on earth in form. To say, this is me. This is my expression of love. We could say the me in which spirit can arise and rise up is our ego, our personality that's focused here and now. There's nothing wrong with the ego. It's how we use it that often gets us in trouble. Its focus is important to our individual self-awareness that we're here and that we have the power of choice to use to uniquely express ourselves. I mean, how can we create a life of joy, which is why we're here, if we don't know what we enjoy doing and then choose to do that? Without our awareness that what we're doing and how we're feeling about what we're doing is a choice, we would have no self-direction at all. We might feel like a victim of circumstances rather than a master, creator. It's good to be the me that cares about what we want and expects to receive it and looks in the direction of its coming with great expectation. Now, some people think it's egotistical and selfish to focus on what we want and look to the direction of the giver when there are so many who seem to be living unwanted lives. But the me is the body we see, but it's still a spiritual idea created to express the power of choice with every thought. There's no other power but the power of our spirit. No other thought that has power except the power we give it as spirit. The confusion is that our ego lives in a fleshy cover in this world. And this world is one of duality. And so our ego can go both ways because that's what the world is about. It's about contrast. It's about choice. It's about this and that and what we want. The me in which spirit can rise up can feel good or bad, happy or sad, sick or well, or love or judgment. When we're focused on the outer world as the only reality while we're here, we often think there's a right and there's a wrong. And we often think we know the right from the wrong and the way to express it in life. And not only do we think we know, but we decide to make things right in the world by demanding that others change and do what we believe is the right thing so that we can be happy. Because that's why we came, right? To be happy. People need to shape up. The me that is focused on the world doesn't mind its own business. And even though it doesn't feel good to that me to limit its focus to the world, it's convinced it's a duty to get all the worldly ducks in a row and lead the parade. That's the ego. that gets us in trouble. When we spend our time focused on the world, we waste our time. That's why Abraham Hicks tells us, all is well. You did not come here to fix a broken world. The world is not broken. You came here to live a wonderful life. That's why we came. Since our true nature remains spiritual, even while we're here, when we lose our awareness of the pure positive energy of spirit, we don't feel the well-being of our true self. When we spend our time focusing on the worldly end of the stick of duality, our mind imitates the way of the world. We fight against what we don't like. We fight against what we don't want. And because our focus is a powerful vibration that calls spirit into physical expression, we perpetuate all the unwanted in our life and in the world. It's not a good idea. We can't live a wonderful life without focusing on the joy of our spirit that transforms our mind with new awareness and new ways of seeing life. In the way of transformation, we read, spirituality is merely a process of seeing things differently. And that is an active decision, born of desire, coupled with the little willingness called allowance, to recognize that each moment is like a jewel presented on a golden plate to you. God's child. You are the one who has the freedom always and literally creates or makes your experience. So how do we allow upward movement in our awareness, in our consciousness? How do we allow the high vibration of spirit, of well-being that's within us to rise up? Our song tells us love calls us by name back to our true self. We really can't get lost, but we have to be willing to pay attention to the call. And how do we focus on feeling that call? By thinking thoughts that feel good. And when we're feeling good, and only when we're feeling good, the song says, I close my eyes. Well, I'm feeling good. I open my heart. I take a deep breath and let the healing start. I lift my hands. I plant my feet. I let love in. I feel the beat. That's calling, calling, calling all of us to rise. When we allow spirit to rise up in the me that's living this human experience, more of who we are spiritually comes into our awareness and flows into our life in form and expression, and we live a wonderful life. That's not selfish. That's spiritual. That's why we came. That's why all of us came, no matter what we're doing at this present moment. But if we see the me, we appear to be, as separate from our spirituality. If we talk about that me to everybody else until we say it so often and think about it so often that it seems like it's all there is to us, then we feel unworthy to even consider the idea that we're God's child. And we prevent the good that belongs to us naturally, that would flow to us every moment from rising up and expressing as us in our humanness. And when we're not feeling healthy in our body, we plant a seed of desire for health and well-being. There's not one of us who chooses to stay sick no matter how much attention or sympathy we might get. And when we're not experiencing harmony in a relationship, we plant a seed of desire for more love. Not one of us likes to feel out of harmony with others, even when we feel like we're right. It's our nature, because we're spiritual now, to feel love and well-being. But if we don't allow ourselves to experience what we've asked for, if we don't allow that seed to grow, it's like we harden our awareness with resistance. And what we've asked for, the new experience, the new shape, the new form, can't get through the surface. It can't get through the soil. Abraham Hicks tells us all you want is alive and well and waiting for you. And the entire universe is working to bring you into alignment. Love is calling, calling, calling us. We don't have to wait until the day we leave these fleshy covers to experience the infinite plan of renewal and eternal expansion that all of us, every single one of us, is an essential part of. It'll rise in us naturally every moment if we allow its vibration to rise in that moment unresisted by what we think we see. We feel the vibration of whatever it is we're focused on. The me in which spirit can rise up is focused within, on the joy of the wanted, on the expectation of its arrival. We're here as you and me to reveal and experience more of the abundant good that's unlimited within for all of us, for all of us. And with a little bit of willingness called allowance, it'll be presented to us like a jewel on a golden plate. We're here to live this outer experience from the inside out. And we can't do that unless we align the outer me with the inner being that created this outer me and is already part of this universe of love. We transform the world, not by making changes out here, but by transforming ourselves, the me we see as ourselves. And we do that one moment at a time until more and more awareness of who we truly are rises in us. Easter can be a sacred time in which we all rise up above the limitations of this world together. And we live in the love and the peace and the joy that we all desire. We are the beautiful, powerful offspring of one life. We are one spirit expressing as you and me. We are all one with the pure, positive energy of love that gives to us as we ask always, always. And so on this Easter morning, I'd like to ask us to take part of that song and make it just a brief meditation. And so if you'll close your eyes, and if you will repeat within yourself, quietly within yourself, so that it becomes so personal. Repeat after me. I ready my soul. I clear my mind. I'm here and now in present time. I feel the power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark. Oh, we rise as one. And let's just be here and now for this moment, just feeling that. Feeling the spirit within us, the one spirit within us, rise up and fill us with the love of all life. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Well, I'm going to trust no one's asleep. So I will say, Happy Easter. Namaste. All right. Well, this is the time of our service when we say thank you for your love, for your support, for being here, for being there, for caring about this world we live in and not letting it run us, but choosing to use our power of choice for the good, for the beautiful, for the holy, for the fun. And we love what we do. We love our center. We love our community, and we would love for it to grow. And towards that goal, we are on a journey to a new location. And that journey is going to be fun. And I know that if you're not supporting it right now financially, that you want to. And so if you don't know how by now, or if you're new this morning, then our treasurer, Dr. Jamie Phillips, is here to tell you how.
Whew. Wonderful talk.
Thank you.
Wonderful life, yeah?
Yeah.
Woo. Okay, if you'd like to donate to the Life Enrichment Center, there's several ways to do so online. You can go to facebook.com/Life Enrichment Center and hit the donate button. You can go to our website, lecflint.com. There's a donate button on that page. You can also donate via PayPal. Our PayPal address, email address, is lec2512@gmail.com, or you can send a check to our P.O. Box, which is Life Enrichment Center, P.O. Box 321294, Flint, Michigan 48532. And here in the sanctuary, we're going to be doing an offertory while we listen one more time to the beautiful Faith Rivera singing Rise Up, and then Reverend Stephanie will be up for gratitude prayer. Thank you so much. Happy Easter.